On this episode, I am going to share and talk about Jim Carrey with you. As we know, everyone is talking about Jim Carrey this past week, and it's due to because the award in quote unquote Jim Carrey appeared to receive the award, but somehow that Jim Carrey does not look like the original Jim Carrey that we know for decades and years. And that's bringing a lot of attention to Jim Carrey. From my personal opinion, personal point of view, I do not think that's the same person. It's not because due to the different eye color, or some people think it's because the plastic surgery, the Botox, and all these rumors going on. As I mentioned a couple times in this channel, and when I mentioned Jim Carrey, I wasn't talking about his movie, even though his movie and the title of his movie in the 90s did tell the story, did carry a hidden message. The reason I can notice that the Jim Carrey in the award show last week is not the same is because the way he talk, the way he express, is not the same as the one we know. Because the Jim Carrey we know, if you're in the spiritual community, you do know he's a very outspoken person. And when he does the interview, he is not funny. He can be very serious, and his speech can be motivating and eye-opening. And oftentimes, the interviewer or the host can be speechless. That's the Jim Carrey, okay? Not the Jim Carrey that we saw last week on the red carpet and talking about receiving the award, made a speech in French, or write a French speech by himself, blah, 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 and or sign autograph outside of the building. Because Jim Carrey talks about detachment. Jim Carrey talks about Jim Carrey is not Jim Carrey. It's a character. Jim Carrey is not himself. Okay? So these are his spiritual message. So while everybody is comparing the original and the one that's supposed to be fake, don't want to ask this question. So where's Jim Carrey? I follow a remote viewer on YouTube, and she did remote Jim Carrey, and according to her, Jim Carrey already crossed over. And it's very unfortunately in our timeline, this timeline, if you watch this video, we are in the same timeline. This timeline, Jim Carrey has already crossed over. And as I mentioned in some of the previous episode, I did see the hidden message throughout his career in the 90s, from Mask, Flyer, Truman Show, and so on and so forth. It does carry some sort of message because due to his spiritual practicing, his reality reflects the movie title, speak from that point of view. And in one of his speech, he even mentioned that he wanted to pass and spread these messages to as many people as he can, and hopefully he can bring as many people as he can, because he also talked about suffering, and he wanted free people from concern, and that's why he played his character, quote unquote Jim Carrey, within the character on his movie, is to free people from concern. And he also talked about depression. He talked about depression is because our body always communicates with us. And oftentimes we get ill, we get sick, is because we externally put on a character, an ego, because of society, because of how we grew up, because of our cultures, we put up a mask. And that's why our body senses that. And our body wants to kick that character out. And that's why we get sick, we get disease, and we get depression. Because according to Jim Carrey, depression is Our body wants to be rest. So I want to dedicate this episode to Jim Carrey. I watched his movie growing up and it really inspired me. And he also talked about a lot of manifestation. He also did something like write I forgot how many amount, like $1 million amount on his check and pay to himself. And then he put it in his wallet and carry it and manifest and it become his reality when he signed up to play Ace Adventure, the first one. So this award show, it somehow has a beautiful effect because now all his videos, all his speech interviews are resurfacing and people are really paying attention now. And some people are starting to awaken. And I think that's a very beautiful thing. And no matter who that Jim Carrey was at the award show, there's a makeup artist come on and claim that was him. I don't know if that's true. So I want to leave you some clip in very profound messages during his interview and his speech.
I mean, is it kind of scary releasing this out into the world and just being so vulnerable and having this side of yourself and this,
No,
exposed?
because there is no me, no self. Jim Carrey is gone, actually never existed, and I know that now. So I'm able to take gigantic chances with this thing that people know as Jim Carrey.
There's no meaning to any of this, so I wanted to find the most meaningless thing that I could come to and join, and here I am.
They're celebrating.
I mean, you got to admit it's completely meaningless.
Well, they say they're celebrating icons inside.
Celebrating
Do you believe
icons,
in
boy,
icons?
that is just the absolute lowest aiming, possibility that we could come up with. It's like icons. What do you believe in icons? I don't believe in personalities. I don't believe that you exist, but there is a wonderful fragrance in the air.
You don't believe certain icons have the power to make change, to think differently, to be bold, to inspire others? Artistry, you're one of them.
On the good foot. Ha! Yeah. You shut her down now. Yeah, no, I don't believe in icons. I don't believe in personalities. I believe that peace lies beyond personality, beyond invention and disguise, beyond the red S that you wear on your chest that makes bullets bounce off. I believe that it's deeper than that. I believe we're a field of energy dancing for itself.
So what this project, what this documentary means for your life and for your career?
It means we're all going nowhere. It's a big pageant of nothing rising out of nothing and happening for no one. And once you understand that, all the pressure's off and you can just enjoy yourself.
You said something about there's no Jim Carrey to sell anymore. Could you explain to me what you meant by that? I wrote it because it really stuck with me. It really resonated with me.
Well, I think that it resonates because it's the truth of everybody, We spend our whole lives trying to invent ourselves and trying to figure out, what this is, and it's just a collection of abstract ideas, from your ethnic background to your nationality to your, whatever, all of that stuff. Those are all ideas you've been given.
Exactly.
And so where you end up at the end of it, you might be successful, but you're unhappy and you don't know why, because, this thing didn't work. This is not a real thing. It's something I cobbled together.
I believe that I had to become a famous, idea.
Yeah.
And get all the stuff that people dream about and accomplish a bunch of things that, that look like success in order to give up my attachment to those things. It's been part of the evolution of ego is to spend your first half of your life acquiring and adding, thinking you can add to yourself, and it looks great. I mean, it looks great when you got a cool car and you got good, nice clothes, and and you've done something that people admire.
When I was about 28, after a decade as a professional comedian, I realized one night in LA that the purpose of my life had always been to free people from concern. Choosing to free people from concern got me to the top of a mountain. Look where I am. look what I get to do. Everywhere I go, I'm going to get emotional because when I tap into this, it really is extraordinary to me. I did something that made people present their best selves to me wherever I go. I am at the top of the mountain, and I was, and the only one I hadn't freed was myself.
I played the guy that was free from concern so that people who watched me would be free from concern.
And that's when my search for identity deepened. I wondered who I'd be without my fame. Who would I be if I said things that people didn't want to hear?
A few months ago, after knowing Eckhart Tolle for a while and studying the books, I woke up and I suddenly got it. I understood suddenly how thought was just an illusory thing. And how thought is responsible for, if not all, most of the suffering we experience. And then I suddenly felt like I was looking at these thoughts from another perspective. And I wondered, who is it that's aware that I'm thinking? And suddenly I was thrown into this expansive, amazing feeling of freedom from myself, from my problems. I saw that I was bigger than what I do. I was bigger than my body. I was everything and everyone. I was no longer a fragment of the universe. I was the universe. And ever since that day, I've been trying to get back there. It's like riding a wave. Sometimes I'm on, sometimes I'm off. But at least I know where I want to go. And that I want to take as many people with me as I possibly can, because the feeling is amazing.
In case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.